If you or someone you love recently had a DEXA scan with disappointing results, hearing the word osteoporosis can be incredibly frightening. It instantly brings up images of fragility, fractures, and a sudden loss of independence that nobody wants to face. However, I want you to take a deep breath because today we are taking your power back and focusing on proactive solutions. Welcome back to Mindful Aging, where we are tackling a huge, heavily debated question. Can you actually reverse osteoporosis naturally after the age of 65? Let's be completely candid right out of the gate about what is biologically possible for your body at this stage of life. You have probably seen the clickbait articles online promising to completely cure osteoporosis in just 30 days with a magic supplement. We need to ground ourselves in reality, as our bodies simply do not work like that, and false hope is not helpful. Medically speaking, osteoporosis is a chronic condition, and curing it entirely without medical intervention is rarely supported by modern science. However, here is the empowering truth. Your bones are not dead, hollow sticks but rather living, highly dynamic tissue. By applying the right natural stressors, the correct nutrients, and restorative lifestyle habits, you can absolutely halt further bone loss. You can actively improve your bone mineral density, rebuild your physical strength, and safely pull yourself out of the danger zone. Over the next 30 minutes, we will explore a complete, evidence-based blueprint on how to protect and rebuild your skeleton. To understand how to fix our bones, we first need to understand exactly how they function on a cellular level. Imagine your bones as a busy highway that is constantly under construction, repair, and maintenance throughout your entire life. You have two main types of cells working on this highway, starting with a group called the osteoclasts. Think of the osteoclasts as the demolition crew, whose primary job is to break down old, weakened, or damaged bone tissue. Right behind that demolition crew is the second group of cells, known as the osteoblasts, which act as the builders. They come in and lay down fresh, strong, new bone to replace the exact tissue that was just cleared away. When we are in our 20s and 30s, these builders work much faster than the demolition crew, allowing us to build peak bone mass. But as we age, and particularly for women after menopause when protective estrogen drops, the builders begin to slow down. The demolition crew keeps working at the exact same pace, but the builders simply cannot keep up with the constant breakdown. The inevitable result is that our bones become increasingly porous, less dense, and much more susceptible to fractures and breaks. But here is the secret to waking those builders back up. We must create a clear physical demand within the body. Your body is incredibly efficient and will not spend precious energy building strong bones if it doesn't think you need them. If you spend most of your day sitting, your body assumes a lightweight, fragile skeleton is perfectly fine for your lifestyle. We have to give your body a compelling reason to build bone, which brings us to our first and most important pillar, exercise. We frequently discuss the immense benefits of gentle exercises like yoga, stretching, and daily walks for your joints and mental well-being. But I need to be straightforward with you. Gentle, low-impact exercise alone will not actively rebuild your diminishing bone density. To stimulate actual bone growth, we have to rely on a biological principle known in the medical and fitness world as Wolff's Law. This law states that your bones will adapt directly to the physical loads and mechanical stress under which they are placed. To trigger the osteoblasts, our builders, you need to safely stress the bone through specific, deliberate types of movement and resistance. The first way to do this is through resistance training, which simply means you need to start lifting heavier things. When a muscle contracts forcefully against resistance, it literally pulls on the bone to which it is physically attached. That strong pulling action sends a critical panic signal to the bone, telling it to get stronger to handle the load. If you are over 65, this certainly doesn't mean you need to become a competitive bodybuilder or lift extreme weights. But it does mean moving beyond 2-pound pink dumbbells and working with a professional to safely perform exercises like squats and deadlifts. The second vital form of movement is safe impact, which relies on ground reaction forces to stimulate essential bone growth. Swimming and cycling are fantastic for your cardiovascular health, but because gravity isn't pulling on you, they do little for bone density. Brisk walking on uneven terrain, stair climbing, dancing, and practicing safe, heel drops send a necessary shockwave up your legs. Remember, if you already have a diagnosis of osteoporosis, always get clearance from your doctor before starting a new routine and avoid extreme spinal twisting. Let's move to the second critical pillar. Nutrition, because movement alone is not enough to rebuild your skeleton from the inside out. You can do all the squats and heel drops in the world, but if your builders lack the right raw materials, they cannot do their job. We have all been told since childhood to drink our milk for calcium, but bone health is far more complex than a single mineral. In fact, taking massive calcium supplements without the correct cofactors can actually cause calcification in your arteries instead of your bones. Here is the holy grail combination of nutrients required to effectively support and rebuild your entire skeletal matrix as you age. First, aim to get roughly 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams of calcium a day, primarily from high-quality, whole food sources. Excellent sources include dark leafy greens, high-quality dairy products, sardines with the bones included, and nutrient-dense nuts like almonds. Next, you need vitamin D3, which acts as the crucial key that unlocks the door for your gut to actually absorb the calcium you consume. If vitamin D3 is the key, vitamin K2 is the traffic cop that directs the flow of minerals within your body. It actively guides the calcium away from your blood vessels and soft tissues, forcing it directly into your bones and teeth where it belongs. You also need adequate magnesium, a crucial mineral that converts vitamin D into its active, highly usable form within the body. Finally, do not overlook protein, as your bone is not just made of hard minerals, it is actually 50% protein by volume. Protein forms the flexible scaffolding that the calcium sticks to, and if you are over 65, your daily protein needs actually increase. Aim for a high-quality source of protein at every single meal to give your bones the structural, physical support they require. Now for the final pillar, which involves addressing the silent saboteurs of your bone health: poor sleep and chronic stress. We frequently discuss how sleep and stress management are vital for brain health, but they are equally critical for your living skeleton. When you are chronically stressed, your body pumps out a hormone called cortisol, which is completely toxic to your bone tissue. High cortisol levels actively suppress your osteoblasts and simultaneously block the essential absorption of calcium occurring in your gut. Furthermore, bone remodeling, the physical process of repairing microdamage and building new tissue, happens primarily while you are in a state of deep sleep. If you are chronically sleep deprived, you are actively shortchanging your body's only real window to heal, recover, and rebuild its framework. Prioritizing your sleep hygiene, practicing deep breathing, and managing your daily stress are profound biological interventions that actively protect your skeleton. Reversing bone loss naturally isn't a quick fix. It takes time, consistency, and a mindful approach to how you move, eat, and rest. If you take away just one thing from this video, let it be this: you are not fragile, and your body is incredibly resilient. Please take this information, have a candid conversation with your healthcare team, and start taking proactive steps toward better bone health today. As we wrap up today's deep dive, I want to remind you that receiving an osteoporosis diagnosis is a signal to take action, not a sentence to stop living. We've covered a lot of ground today, from waking up your bone builders with targeted resistance and safe impact training, to feeding them the exact nutrient matrix they require. You now know the importance of protecting that hard work by prioritizing your sleep and managing your daily stress levels. The journey to rebuilding your skeleton naturally is a marathon, not a sprint, and it requires a dedicated, daily commitment to your own well-being. But always remember the core message of today: your body is incredibly resilient, and it is never too late to start giving it the support it absolutely deserves. If you found this breakdown helpful and empowering, please hit the like button below so this information can reach others who might be feeling overwhelmed by a recent bone scan. I would also love to hear from you in the comments. What is one new habit you are going to incorporate into your routine this week to support your bone health? Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our weekly deep dives into living your strongest, healthiest life. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today, and as always, thank you for being a vital part of the mindful aging community. Until next time, keep moving, stay strong, and take beautiful care of yourself.
Hello, I invite you to join us on the Mindful Aging channel, where we discuss health and wellness for a vibrant life.